Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and as always, I have with me Mike B.
What it do?
How's it going? I know you say that, and then I ask the same question. We do this every single show, but I'm going to ask again. How's it going?
It's going.
How's your week? Or 2 weeks? Or 3 weeks?
It's been a while. It's been, I don't know. I just been kind of in a funk the past couple weeks. So I don't know.
Can't be in it. Well, you can be in a funk with all this rain. We got so much water coming down.
The rain is very, very depressing.
I'm about to go build a boat.
It might be time. I feel like these are signs.
I mean, I really think we need to build a boat. And put a couple of dogs.
With the weather being so weird and different, and we had winter for so long. April is supposed to be the rain, the shower month. And we're at the end of May getting all kinds of rain.
We're not getting showers. We getting buckets.
It was like a tropical storm yesterday. And, tornadoes are touching down. Luckily, thankfully, not, directly in Kansas City, but still in surrounding areas. So it's something to be concerned about because it could, it can turn this way. And I ain't got time for it.
Ant-Man. Did you see the last one, Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yep.
Okay, so you saw where they pushed the button and the whole building shrunk?
Yep.
I've been thinking I wish I had one of those on my house because I just push a button, my whole house shrink, and I just walk somewhere and go someplace safe.
Where is safe?
It's a couple of the houses down. They built one of those old-fashioned tornado shelters in the ground.
Okay, like a bunker?
I just want to go down to their house and sit there.
And you want to bring your house with you?
My house with me. With my little dog.
Right on, Dorothy.
And the yard and everything.
Lord have mercy.
It's just been, I go outside. I look outside the other day, and in between my house and my neighbor's house, it looks like there's a river. Because it's so much water. The ground is so saturated that it's starting to puddle up.
Okay.
And I mean, it's just rushing water just straight in between our two houses. And I'm like, I should put some rocks there, make me a nice little creek. That's all I can think of. My yard, when I go out in the back, it feels like a sponge.
Right, because there's really nowhere for the water to go.
It's nowhere, anywhere. And all I'm thinking is that poor little crawl space down there probably full of water. And I'm not going down there to find out.
I can imagine.
I'm not. It's a sunk pump down there, and I suppose it still works. I don't know where it's sunken and pumping to, but
probably to that puddle that you see on the side of
it may be. I don't know, but there's one down there, and I'm like, it's got to be full of water. My neighbor's got one, and I can see where hers spouts out to, right behind her house. So every 5-10 minutes, you just hear this gush of water, and it's her sunk pump. And I'm like, yeah, that's not helping matters right now.
And do you ever hear yours go off?
Well, I can't hear it. It's down in the crawl space.
I feel like you should hear something. And
I've never been able to hear
some water somewhere.
I've complained about
so
much
water
down
there
before.
Uh-huh.
I can usually smell it when it's down there, and I haven't smelled any lately. But he's come over and fixed it every time I said, "Hey, I smell water." So
like sewage.
No,
what does that mean? I smell water.
It's like damp, mildewy.
Okay. Yeah.
When I start smelling that, I know it's a problem, and I can usually smell that, especially back through the bathroom and in that area, because that's right where it sits, right above the crawl space.
Okay.
So when I'm in that area, I can smell it real good, and I haven't smelled any of that lately. But my sink is messing up again, and he keeps putting a Band-Aid on it instead of coming over and fixing the damn thing. So
you feel some type of way about it?
I really feel so, because I can get down there and fix it my dang own self.
What is it doing?
Where two of the pipes are coming together, he's got plastic pipes.
Okay.
And where they're coming together, they have the seal is broken.
Okay. So it's leaking.
So after about a month or two of using it, they start to separate. And all of a sudden, water's just, I'll be in the kitchen washing dishes or something. Water's all over my floor. Because, I think it's going down the drain. It's completely missing the whole drain.
Wow.
It's going down the drain and spouting out on my floor. So I can usually smell the water. It's just rain. And I think even my dog is tired of rain.
Really?
Yeah, I say go outside. She look at me like,
I'm over it.
No.
We were supposed to record last Saturday, and I was like, "Hey, I don't want to do this." Plus, my little niece was over here, and me and her were watching YouTube videos, and it's amazing just to let a kid basically dictate what you're watching. And so it was like an hour and a half of us watching people making slime. I don't understand the fascination with kids and slime.
Explain the poop to me. I don't get that one either.
I don't know that.
Everything got this dang on poop emoji. Everything poop emoji. Pillows, poop emoji. Shoes. Poop. I don't get it.
Kids are weird.
Yes.
But we were like, people, like I said, they're making slime, and she's like talking, like commentating. My niece is commentating as the people are just, they're not saying anything. They got music, and they got all these different slimes, and they're putting together and mixing and all this crap, and it looks gross as hell. And she's like, Uncle Mike, that sound is just so satisfying. I said, what the hell you know about satisfying? I said, it felt inappropriate to me because I'm listening to this sound and it sounds gross. And so I'm like, go to the next video. And then we go to another video, the same stuff, but the people are talking and they're saying, oh, guys, isn't this so satisfying? That's where she got it from. And it just... These adults, because it's a lot of times it's adults making this stuff and catering to these kids, and it feels so like pedophile-ish to me. And all they're doing is making slime and just playing with it, but it feels so inappropriate. I felt weird. I felt uncomfortable.
Why would you watch that?
She wanted to watch that.
Okay, so let her watch it and you.
But she was watching it on the big TV.
Okay,
so
go someplace else.
It's my house.
Yeah, okay. I guess you go watch slime.
Uncle Mike, this sound is so satisfying. And then this is like the era of like mukbangs and ASMR. Are you familiar with that? Those are like videos that I guess touch or tap into your sensories.
Okay.
And so you'll hear people like rubbing on the mic or like chewing ice or like letting their pop fizz and stuff like that. So it's mainly just auditory. And then for her to come and say, the sound is so satisfying. I'm like, she's trying to get her a job. She ready to start making some videos.
My nephew watches them play games. And he watches for hours. See, I'll just let him, when he comes over my house, he has my TV in my bedroom. I just go into the living room.
Like what kind of games are they playing?
I don't know. I cannot watch. I'll go back and I'm like, what are you watching? Oh, they're playing this game. I mean, they play it. It's like,
is it like they're playing a video game?
Fortnite. Yeah,
okay.
They playing video.
Now I can do that too.
And he just sits and he watches. And he comes back and he's like, Auntie, we got this and we got that. And I'm like, but why are you watching? Don't you? I'm like, do you want me to go buy you the game? We can
so
go
you can
around
play
the GameStop so you can play it. And no, I just want to watch him play it.
Yeah, I'll turn on this service. It's almost like YouTube, but it's called Twitch, where people can live stream them playing video games. And especially if I'm interested in the game, but don't know if I want to buy it, I'll sit there and just watch people play for hours because that's entertaining to me.
Well, evidently it's entertaining to him too. Now, of course, my youngest nephew, he doesn't care. And my mom calls me. She texted me the other day and she said that he was asking if he could come to my house. And he said he wanted to buy me a toy. And so my mom commences to have this conversation. Now, he's 4. And she has this conversation. She said, adults don't play with toys. You can't buy her a toy. Adults don't play with toys. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, wait a minute, because you're talking about the wrong adult here. And so I'm like, where is this
adult toys out there?
Actually. Well, no, that's what she went to. Well, he's 4, so they weren't discussing that. But so I'm like, okay. And so she's telling me all of this, and I'm like, okay, where's this conversation going? And so she tells him that adults don't play with toys, and you have to buy adult things, and da 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 da. And finally, he says, "But grandmother, she has toys all over her house."
Right.
Like, well,
you got stuffed animals.
I got Mickey Mouse. I got stuffed animals. I got games. I got Play-Doh. Come on.
Right.
And my mom said, and as soon as he said that, all I could say was, "Oh, okay."
You're right.
Like, well, yeah. So I called him and he says, "Can I come over to your house?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Can I buy you a toy?" I said, "Yes, you can buy me a toy." Then he asked me an odd question. He says, "Do you have any food?"
You don't feed them when they come over?
Yes, they eat all kind of stuff when they come over because I make a big deal out of them coming over. And so he says, I said, yes, I have food. He says, okay. So I think I'm going to hang out with them next week.
He wasn't going to come unless you had some food.
Well, he asked if he could come, but then he asked me if I had food. I'm like, huh?
You wanted to make sure. Maybe he ain't eating at home.
I don't
so he's
know.
trying to get away from there.
So I'm thinking about maybe taking him to the zoo and doing something next weekend.
You think the zoo is still fun for kids?
They love it.
Okay.
My mom takes them a few times a year, and they love it, especially when the panda bear Nikita was there.
The keto.
What, Nikita was she
name?
a panda? I think she was a panda. No, she was white bear. She was a polar bear. That's it.
Okay.
Her name was Nikita, and she would swim and she would play. She would go up to the glass and kind of play with people, and they just loved her.
You don't see too many kids enjoying getting outside anymore, so that's why. That's why.
Well, and that's the difference. My youngest, he loves to go outside, loves to play, loves to kick the ball around, loves to do stuff like that. He's
adventurous.
One. The older one, he is not so active. He likes to be in front of a computer, playing a game, in front of a tablet. You know, he will play baseball. He loves to swim, so he does a few activities, but for the most part, he's good. Like, he comes over, I just leave him in my room. I just like, see ya, I'm gone. He watches movies. He watches YouTube, and he knows how to work my TV better than me. Knows how to get into Netflix. He knows everything.
Right.
I have to keep an eye on him, because he keeps sneaking into my Netflix account. A couple of times I done went into my Netflix account because he has access to it at home. So I'll go into my Netflix account and go, what is this?
Weird recommendations all of a sudden.
Well, I have horror movies in mind.
All right, oh.
And I'm like, what is this? I know I didn't put that in there. And you're the only other person that watches horror.
Yeah.
And you have your own Netflix.
Right.
And I don't even know if you have access. I'm sure you do. You probably do. But I'm like, so who's got the horror? And then I'll look and I'll realize he's been in there and he's been watching scary movies. And evidently, and I'll call my mom. She's like, no wonder he was in the bed with me the other day.
How old is he?
9.
9, right on.
So he watches for a minute and then he gets scared and then he can't sleep by himself. Like, stay out of my account, stay into yours. But yours doesn't have he says, but mine doesn't have good stuff like yours. I'm like, there's a reason. Yours is kids.
Yeah, for kids, yeah.
So, but kids are interesting.
They can be.
And they're very interesting. But just think, they go home. What if you had her 24/7?
Oh, my niece? No,
yes.
I couldn't do it.
You'd be watching slime being made all day long.
I just leave her the house and I'm gone.
She'd be to burn the place up.
Because she do be trying to like put stuff in the microwave, and I'm not there yet.
Oh, you don't let her cook in the microwave? She's old enough.
No.
Microwave, she's old. My goddaughter at 2 knew how to get up in the morning and get her little meals.
Like a Lunchable?
Yeah, they were like little ravioli meals and stuff like that. And she knew exactly where they were. She would open them up, put the little plastic top on them, stick them in the microwave. She pushed that button, and it would be ready. And her mama would get up in the morning and find her in the middle of the floor eaing. And all she could say is, well, at least if anything ever happened to me, she'd be all right.
My one fear is them putting something aluminum in the microwave and then it exploding, and I don't have time for that.
That's why you have to do it with them.
No, she can do it at home, not here.
Oh, see, that's how you know she can do it. If you do it with her. Yes, you saw the video of the little boy who was making pot pies with his mom.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And he chopped up the carrots, he chopped up the celery and the peas, and he ate them.
Yeah, ate half the food before he put it in his little mixture.
And then she baked his little pot pie that didn't have nothing in it.
It looked kind of gross, actually. But he had fun.
But he was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, and he ate it and he said, it was good. Anywho, you didn't see your grandma?
I did.
Did you see her on Mother's Day?
I did. I saw her the next day. I don't really go. On holidays, I don't visit anybody.
Oh, well, did you take her something?
Yes, I took her some groceries.
Oh.
And she was very appreciative.
Okay. You didn't get her anything special?
I got her a special lunch, and she enjoyed that.
Oh, okay. I took my aunt a big old card.
A big what?
A big old card.
Card? Oh, okay.
You know, my aunt, she's one of those people you could buy her diamonds, and if it don't come with a card, she gets agitated.
Oh.
I don't like cards. My mom doesn't like cards because you just throw them away.
Right.
They just end up being trash. My mom's kind of the same way about flowers. If they're like, you know, to get a bouquet of flowers here and there is okay, but it's not something she really likes because
they die.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you like, I bought her a plant, a mini rose bush for the house one year, and now every Mother's Day it blooms.
Oh,
that she likes. So every Mother's Day she gets new roses. But like, if I were to just buy her roses, she doesn't like that because they die.
Right.
Well, my aunt has got this big card issue. So
But does your aunt collect them or does she throw them away too?
She ends up throwing them away.
Okay.
So
maybe it's the sentiment, you know, because cards actually say how you feel.
She said, I keep them for a little while. I'll tell her how I feel. Shoot. And got to say, I can write it down on a piece of paper. Why a card?
Well, you should do a homemade card. Would she accept that?
Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to make her this big old homemade card, and I was going to be silly with it. But I was in, and then time ran out, and I was like, I ain't got time. So I'm going to just run to Walmart and grab her a card since she got to have a freaking card. Mm-hmm. So I go to Walmart to get this card, and they like $5.
They're expensive.
I'm like, for a freaking card? Are you kidding me?
Now, they do have some that are like 99 cents.
That's what I was like, where did 99 cents was? Like, hey.
They're usually not the first ones you see.
I mean, I just have a real problem with cards because you throw them away.
Right.
And literally throwing $5 in the trash.
Now, some people, I still got some cards from my graduation because of the stuff that people wrote inside.
Yeah.
And so,
but
they're
not
in my
because
closet.
of the card itself.
No.
Okay. So I'm looking in and I come across this humongous card. It had to be about 2 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah. And it was cheaper than the cute card that I was going to get her. I was like, I'm getting this card. So I got the card.
Did they have an envelope?
They had an envelope and everything. I got the card. I filled it out just like I was going to stick it in the mail. I drew a fake stamp in the corner of it. And then I'll go to her house. Mm-hmm. She ain't home. I'm like, what? I call her, what you doing?
You could have left it in the mailbox.
Where are you? It wouldn't have fit. So I go on. I got keys. So
okay.
I'm thinking, if you go in through the front door, it'll set the alarm off and I'll have to go in and turn it off. And that means I got to look up the code and yada, yada, yada. I don't feel like doing all that. So I'm going to go in down through the basement because if you come in through the basement, it won't go off. Well, yeah, if you come in through the garage, it won't go off. But she took my garage door opener and gave it to her boyfriend. So I have to go in.
He probably needed it more than you.
I'm sure. But I have to go in through the door and the door is alarmed. So I get in through the door and I hear beep, beep. And I'm like, damn. So I got to run all the way to my car. Got to go find the code. Got to go look it up. Go in the house. Now, at this point, the alarm is going off. So I'm trying to turn it off and I mess up. Trying to turn it off again, mess up again. Turn it off and finally do it the third time and it goes off. And I'm like, whew, ADT don't call. I'm like, what the hell is ADT? And I'm thinking, well, maybe she doesn't have a monitor anymore or something. So I turn it off. I stick this big old card in the middle of the table. I set the alarm again, go downstairs, shut the door, get ready to head out the other door, and the phone rings. I'm like, this is ADT. I got to get it. So I shut the door and lock it, and now I hear the alarm engage. So pick
this
the
is
phone.
Too much.
Yes, it is for a freaking card. So
I would have slid it under the door.
It wouldn't fit. Not under the door.
Why?
Doors have seals.
Some.
Well, these doors have seals, so it wouldn't have went under the door. But so I get it. I pick up the phone. It's ADT telling me that they didn't send the police out because the alarm went off by the code. So I was like, oh, okay. Now I got to get out the house. I'm not going back upstairs to undo that alarm and it. So I go out the garage because I know if I go out the garage, it won't go off. So I hit the button. And I'm ready. Here we go. We ready to do gymnastics to get out the door.
Before the garage door closed. Yes. Okay.
So I hit the button. I run. I jump as high as I can. Hit my head on the top of the door as I'm going out. And
what was the jump for?
So because the beam is at the bottom, that's what makes the door pop back open. If something is in the way of the laser beam, the door will go back up because it'll think something's there.
Okay.
So I have to jump over the laser. I hit my head on the top of the door, but I get out in time for the door to go down. And so now I'm standing out there going, rubbing the top of my head 'cause it hurt. And I get in my car and I'm like, ain't this a blip? So I get all the way home. Or actually, I go do some running and I get a phone call. You are crazy. My auntie is like,
I wish she would have had like cameras, your style cameras, and recorded everything you just went through.
Had to go through. And so she's like, I can't believe you brought this big ass card over here. I'm like, yep. I was like, and I told the man as I was buying it, I was like, see if she'll ask me for another card.
Did she appreciate it? I mean, did she like it?
She loved it. She said, oh, I'm keeping this forever. Like, oh, hell. So it backfired on me.
Right on.
So now next year I got to get her a bigger one.
Nah, that's
I ain't going through all that, though. I'm going to call her, make sure she's home and just take it to her.
Yeah, or say, can you stop by on your way home and pick it up?
Well, I wasn't going to be home. I knew I wasn't going to be home. So,
right
but
on.
Yeah, it was interesting. But other than that, just rain, and more rain.
Right on.
And it's coming down again tonight.
Don't bring it up.
And tomorrow.
Don't bring it up.
And Monday.
Are you doing anything for the holiday? We need to get into the show, but are you doing anything for holiday?
It's going to be raining.
Is it?
I'm going to have my feet up somewhere dry. That's all I know.
You're not going to try to go out there and grill?
Do you know they've closed lakes? They've closed campgrounds. They've closed just about everything because everything's flooded.
But I'm saying you got a grill at your house.
I don't grill by myself.
Okay, you're a big girl. Like you.
Yeah, y'all the ones put me on punishment and told me I couldn't grill by myself no more after I set my hair on fire.
Your what?
My hair.
Your hair, okay. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't grill by myself. I use my George Foreman grill. So I do have a steak. I'm going to grill me a steak on my George Foreman grill.
Right on.
Because
that's probably safer. That's probably
but
safer.
It won't be outside. It'll be inside. But I won't. If somebody want to stop through, you can. But it's muddy in my backyard.
Okay.
And I just threw out all the Bacardi grapes.
From Halloween?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
They've been in the freezer all this time.
No, I feel like that's too much.
Yeah, it is. That's why they in the trash. That's why they in the trash. But yeah.
Anyway, I'm moving on. This
you got
week,
a
I do have a bait for Black Achievements in Excellence, and you actually sent this to me. And we are honoring Ire Cherry, and Ire I-R-E. Cherry is a 9-year-old who started baking at the age of 3 and is now the owner of Very Cherry Bakery. And I believe this is local because this was on our local Fox website. But it says when she turned 8, she came to her mother, Christina, and her father, and said she wanted to have a bakery. And in order to make sure that she was serious about all this, they had her take a business class, which I thought that was, cool.
That's cool.
I wouldn't think that they would allow an 8-year-old in a business class, but they said they had her do that to make sure she was serious about it. And she became the youngest person ever to get a Kansas City food handler's license. Now she's doing weddings and filling orders of more than 100 pieces. So she's serious about it. She's doing it. But the article really wasn't talking about her accomplishments as a business owner. It was going into her attending the University Academy and this growing, I want to call it an epidemic, but this growing trend of issues with school lunch debt. Mm-hmm. And so we've been hearing about it a lot here lately. And she found out that some of her local students were having issues with lunch debt. And so she went in her pocket, wrote a check for $150. She's 9 years old, wrote a check for $150 to kind of pay off some of the debt for some of her fellow classmates. And just to have the wherewithal in the mindset to do something like that, when you're trying to, build your own business, you're trying to grow wealth for yourself, and you're still having the mindset to look out for other people. I think that's awesome. So we salute and shout out Ire Cherry of Kansas City.
Woohoo!
I do also have a couple honorary mentions.
Okay.
One of them being Valerie Castile, who was Philando Castile's mother. Philando Castile, we remember, was gunned down by the police for cooperating with the police. I'll never forget that. But his mom also, she paid off some lunch debt for students at the Robbinsdale, Cooper High School. So she's also, doing the same thing, helping out students who are in lunch debt. I wonder, the way they get into this debt is that they don't deny people lunch. And so you can eat, but you're growing a tab or something like that. Because I'm not understanding, because in this particular school system where Valerie Castile paid off some lunch debt, that lunch debt was growing to like $300,000. Now, she didn't pay all of that, but just the fact that the debt was that high, it's like I'm wondering how it gets that high.
Well, I'm sure the people they just can't pay, period. So I don't understand. I'm wondering where like the free lunch program is and why these students are not qualifying for that. Because I know I was on the free lunch program throughout school.
Me too. And you would think that would be a thing. I'm wondering if this current administration has gone, done away with it, or the funding isn't there anymore, and they've diverted it to other things. But again, honorary mention, shout out to Valerie Castile, and also an honorary mention to our 2019 high school, college, elementary, just 2019 graduates. Shout out to all of them, all of you, white, black, Mexican, Hispanic, Latin, everybody, for sticking with for going through, getting your education and completing the task.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Sorry.
That's why you should have headphones on.
No, thank you.
You can blow your own eardrums out.
So, speaking of, then there's also Robert F. Smith.
Oh, yeah.
The billionaire who just paid off the class of 2019 Morehouse College student loans.
Debt, yeah.
All I'm saying is, can you pay mine off too?
How do I get on the list?
It's just one more.
Let me be an honorary member.
Look, 40,000 extra. That's all.
Oh man.
Man.
Can you imagine being in like your graduation ceremony and somebody come over to the speakers or the podium and say that?
Did you see the footage? People were like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What did
it would be unbelievable to me.
There were parents out in the audience that was like, what?
Like, is it serious? Yeah.
It's like, and some of them said in the beginning they thought it was a joke, and then they were like,
yeah, I would think that too.
He's serious.
Well, knowing who he is and the fact that he got the money, the funds.
Well, one guy even had calculated how much he was in debt, how long it was going to take him to pay it off, and what kind of job he needed to get, and said he was already stressing about it before he had even graduated.
Right.
And he was like, now I don't have to worry about that. I can now take the job I want instead of the job I have to have.
Right.
Which, that changes your entire
everything.
life.
It changes your livelihood.
It not only your life, but the lives or future lives of your children.
Yep.
And that right there is life changing. If you're gonna give me a tax break, I don't want $20 a week or check. $20 a check don't do nothing but give me gas money.
Right.
Do something that is going to change my life
and have a drastic impact, like something like this.
Right. And these things have drastic impact. So I give him an honorary mention. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Right on.
Woo!
I'm hoping you ain't trying to wait for me to scream.
Okay, so let's get into it. We got a lot going on. There are 23 or 24 Democrats running for president right now.
Are you like keying in on anybody?
Nope.
No.
I'm thinking personally, just as what I'm seeing, that Biden will probably have it, only because he's the name everybody knows. Everybody knows what he's capable of. They know his dirt. They know what he's gonna do. So I think I
feel like black folks are not, backing away from that crime bill that he supported.
Well, and they are, but I think in the end, it's just where people feel secure, and not only just secure, it's somebody they know they really believe can beat Trump. And I think that's going to be the kicker.
The mindset.
That's going to be the final thing that kicks it over. Who can beat Trump? And the one thing I do see is the black people that I've talked to that do vote, they shying away from a female candidate. They're shying away from a black candidate just because they don't think that they can win. They're back in that same mind state that we can't do it. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
That's sad though too, right?
It is. It's very sad. I haven't seen a candidate that is making me jump out my seat.
Like Stacey Abrams was.
Oh yeah. Now if she was running, but she's not.
Right,
she's
right.
not. It was just, I don't know. It was the way, as she was speaking, the things she was talking about, the things she was hitting on. It just really embodied everything that I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you know how you felt when you first heard Obama speak. Mm-hmm. You know how you felt when you first saw him and started to get fired up about him.
Right.
That's exactly how I felt with her. That I felt that rekindled feeling again. And unfortunately, she's not running. So right now, what we got, I mean, I like Kamala Harris. I like Bernie. I always have. But I still struggle with how he's going to pay for some of the things he's got out there. Now, they are finally starting to talk about how they're going to pay for some of this stuff. I like Elizabeth Warren, but sometimes Elizabeth Warren crosses a line to me, just for me. She tries too hard to me.
What about Mayor Pete?
I actually like a lot of what he says. I don't like his stance on reparations, though. But what I do like about him is he has an open mind. When somebody shows him a different way, he changes course. He adjusts his sails. He's not stuck in one frame. He's really listening to the people out there. I like the fact that he went on Fox. Mm-hmm. And
got a standing ovation over there,
well,
too.
And not only that, but he went on Fox and basically spoke his truth, spoke his piece. He didn't sit there and say, oh, you got the greatest anchors. No, he told the truth about what they had done and how they treat Democrats and how they treat everybody outside of Fox. So, I mean, I like a lot about what he's doing, but
I was kind of glad to see that Chris Wallace was the one who was hosting that versus anybody else. Maybe Shep could have done it, but anybody else, it would have been basically probably an attack.
Well, Laura Ingraham immediately attacked. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is, but I like the fact that he actually went out there and did it and saw the bigger picture and not just the
Does that give you hope for, who was the lady, is it Donna? What's Donna Brazile? Does it give you hope for her going over to that network and maybe speaking?
I don't think anybody can go over to that network and
be a voice
change
of reason.
The culture of that network.
Okay,
because the problem is at the top.
Right.
It would be different if it was in the middle. No, the problem is at the top. This is what they want to spew from the top down, and all they'll do is get rid of her. So unless you have access to the top and can change the minds at the top, there's no way to fix that. So I wish her luck. I pray for her sanity. But just like the majority of the African-American anchors over there, I don't see her lasting too long. So yeah, 23 or 24 of them now. We'll see. We'll just have to see. I don't have a favorite. Do you?
Nope. I have been watching a lot of Mayor Pete's videos because I guess he's the one who's being more vocal recently and doing more things recently, as well as Elizabeth. But nobody stands out. And I hate to hear, like I just said, that, you know, black people don't really believe that a black person could win. And I have to, I totally understand where they're coming from, because at this point, it's like the agenda is to get this man out of office and hopefully shift the culture back to one of understanding and acceptance versus divisiveness. And that's what's bothering me.
I have to admit, there is one thing that stood out to me over the past 3 weeks that really, and I say 3 weeks because I don't remember which week it happened in, but they asked Kamala Harris if she thought she would be a good vice president for Biden, or if it would be a good ticket for Biden as president and her as vice president. And she was like, oh, I think Biden would make a great vice president. He's done it before. And I mean, the way she handled the question, I applaud her. I'm like, there you go. What the hell? Why automatically put her at number two? Woman at number two, because she's a woman.
Right.
So, I mean, I think we are ready. I think women are ready for a for a woman to be president. My little cousin did tell me that,
I don't know, because remember, look at all the women that were against Hillary because she was a woman. I believe
black women are ready, and I believe that liberal women are ready. But these people up under Trump aren't. I don't know. It's a whole nother thing going on over there, and I don't understand their mindset.
It's brainwashing.
That
it's
one woman,
it's cultish behavior.
That one woman who said a woman can't be president because we're too emotional. That woman got to go. I am disowning her from the female sex. She is not female. She must do. She had to have a surgery or something because she can't be. What the hell kind of statement is that? How could you put yourself down?
Well, it's basically what you've been taught. Look at all these evangelicals. I mean, somehow excusing everything that he does and bashing everybody else.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves. There's a special place in hell for them.
Yeah.
Because
they're supposed to know better.
And sincerely, because they are speaking, and it's not even that they're supposed to know better. They keep speaking that this is the way God wanted it. It's like, are you kidding me? God taught you all of this, and then all of a sudden said, "Okay, today I'm gonna change my mind. I want it the other way around."
The reverse. Hell? I want you to hate. I want you to spew hatred. I want you to be divisive. Really,
I can't.
It's a new world order.
But yeah, so I mean, I love the way she handled that question. I think that I honestly think the majority of the country is ready. My little cousin disagrees with me. He says the middle of the country. Well, I live in the middle of the country, and I talk to people in the middle of the country, black and white. My neighborhood is very eclectic, and not just black and white, Mexicans, Chinese, everybody. I think we're ready. It's just, will we get out and vote? And that's been the biggest problem. Republicans get people to get out and vote. Democrats don't. I don't understand that. And I get on black people because I'm black.
Right.
Get your butt up out and get out and vote. There's no excuse. If you don't have a ride, call me. There's no excuse. But there are white people that don't vote. There are Mexicans and Japanese and Native Americans, and there are a lot of people that don't vote.
Right.
It's not just black people, but black people need to get their butts out and vote
because we could make a difference.
We can make a huge difference. The numbers are there. No matter what, don't let people tell you they not. They are. So.
There will always be the naysayers. There will always be the people who say your vote doesn't matter, your vote doesn't count.
Well, if you don't get out and vote, then I don't want to hear your mouth.
How will you know?
There you go. So, I posted a picture online a few weeks ago on Facebook, hashtag hate better. Mm-hmm. Did you see it?
I did see it.
What did you think of it? For those of you who don't know, it's a picture of a white woman.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I guess we need to explain it. I'm so sorry. For those of you who don't know, it's a picture of a white woman with black hands, and you see her back, her backside, her button all, and
they're all just kind of grabbing on her.
Black hands are grabbing on her. But if you look closely at the hands, they're like
not
painted. Black. They're painted black. They're white hands painted black. So go ahead. What did you think about it?
I wish it came with context. I felt like it was meant to be controversial. I guarantee you that most people only saw the black hands, and the first thing I thought of was, okay, they're trying to say that black men, I guess, go after white women. Black men attack white women. Black men, hate white women. Like, what? It didn't have any context. But then, like you said, when you look closer, you see that it's the white men or white hands with, painted black. Then it kind of changes the context. And then I'm like, what are you trying to say?
Did you follow the hashtag?
No.
Okay, well, there is a hashtag on it, hashtag hate better. And that's because I was the same way. What is the statement, and why am I looking at some white woman's butt? I'm first of all disturbed by the fact that I'm looking at Facebook and some white woman's butt is in my stream. Mm-hmm. And then I started to look at the picture, and I'm like, what the hell? But when I follow the hashtag, it is they've got this big whole campaign around hate better. And basically it's saying have a legitimate reason to hate. And for this particular image, it is saying that white women are objectified and sexually abused and harassed, and black men are blamed, but it's usually a white man that does it. And that's what was under that picture. Mm-hmm. And so once you follow the hashtag, you see that, and they give explanation, and then you see all kinds of other stuff. They've got them, hate better when it comes to sexism, hate better when it comes to transgenders, the LGBT community. I mean, all of it, and black, white, and it just really, once you start looking at all of them, it really kind of makes you think.
I don't really like the hashtag. I don't think you should hate. Maybe this is when what's her name, Melania, could come and be better. What was her be best? Lord have mercy.
I like be better.
Have we done anything? Has she done anything with that?
How can she? Her other half is not being best.
But she can still be out here trying to push an agenda, surrounding that.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop. Pause. Everything. Speaking of
this Nancy Pelosi situation.
Pelosi?
I'm surprised you didn't have it on your list of things to talk about.
I forgot. I mean, it was hilarious. She sat there, she comes out, and she's talking. Now, she did stammer a few times, because I even noticed
but
it.
That's what she, I feel like every time she speaks, she kind of stammers, but it's not like she's drunk.
No, she wasn't drunk. She's an older woman. Right. Whatever. My uncle stammers. But she said his family and his administration need to come together and have an intervention. And I'm like, did she just call for an intervention of this fool?
I feel like we've all been saying that.
And I'm sitting here, at this point, I'm dying. I'm supposed to be working, but I'm dying. I'm like, this is the funniest crap ever. And then some woman sits up and says, don't you think you need to change your rhetoric around the way you're talking about him? And I'm like,
why?
It's the truth. I'm like, what? It's the truth. And she's
like,
no.
That's what irritates me. Go ahead.
She says, he's got you fooled. See, you're you're falling for his mess. She's like, no, this is the truth. And she said, but you're acting like you're concerned for his well-being. She said, I am. And she said, and the well-being of the United States of America. I was like, oh my God.
But the fact that, and I think this is what you text me about. I feel like the fact that people are coming at Nancy Pelosi, wanting her to change how she talks about the president versus the way the president talks about everybody else. And he's the one in that position.
Do you notice?
That's so irritating.
This is how, and I'm going to say this, and I hope that nobody takes offense to this, but black people will totally understand. This is how white women treat their children. Their child is wrong, but instead of chastising their child, and not all white women, there's a section of white women and they know who they are. Their child is wrong, and instead of chastising their child, they want everyone else to adjust their selves and to come at their child differently. This is those same set of people who say everybody needs to win a trophy. Everybody needs to get a ribbon. No, because when you get older and you are stuck in the middle of society, because eventually
where
you're
not
no
everybody
gets
a ribbon,
right? Everybody don't get a promotion,
gloves, right?
Everybody don't get the job. Everybody don't become CEO. You have got to learn how to take a loss. And to me, when she said, well, don't you think you need to change your rhetoric? I'm like, okay, you one of them people who sit there with your kid, and she's like, it's going to set him off. So why not say something different? No, why not teach him how to behave?
Yeah,
because it's a lot of things that's going to set you off. And this is a lot of things that set me off.
And then
in life.
When you're the president and you have all these pressures and all these people coming at you, talking about you. Remember, he told us that he had like the highest patience, and you're like, he wouldn't be triggered. And he's been triggered since coming into office. Even before office, he's been triggered.
I just wish somebody would trigger him on a pole vault. You
got the best temperament. We ain't seen it yet. And you said that he had like his people come out and were saying how calm he is or whatever.
That was all in a line. He went one by one down the line. How do you think I acted? How do you think I acted? And all of them, of course, they should be chocolate because they as far up his butt as they are. Just, oh, yes, and you didn't have a temperament. No. Like, oh my God, this man has a temperament he has a temper tantrum every single day. We all see it first thing in the morning when he hits Twitter. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. But oh no, your demeanor was this. One by one in the line, and I'm just like, this. I would be embarrassed to have to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Did they go into detail as to what they mean by they think he's involved in a cover-up? Did they go into detail?
No, she didn't really go into detail about that. I don't even think she really hit on that in that speech. But the cover-up, they do think he's covering something up because he's acting like it.
Right.
But what? No, of course, nobody can really say. But here's the thing when it comes to impeachment, and this is what I need people to understand, because I'm so tired of the media asking this question. Why won't they impeach? Is it a political thing? Do I think politics plays into it? Yes. But what's the point of impeaching if it's not going to get him out of office? The House can impeach him right now. They got the votes to impeach him right now. But if the Senate is not going to do the same, it'll be the same thing as Clinton. He'll still continue, finish out his term. He'll still be nothing changes except he's an impeached president by the House. That's it. The only way something changes is if both parties agree and they both impeach like they did Nixon, and then he gets out and the VP steps up. So stop asking the House why they won't impeach, and understand that the House can't impeach until the Senate is willing to do so. And the only way the Senate might even remotely begin to be willing to do so is if they can actually get into what else is in those documents, what else happened, who talking to Mueller and all of that.
No, not this Senate. No, they don't. Right. This Senate, they don't care.
You might be right.
Well, I would say the Republicans, most of them, they appear to not care.
You might be right. And if that's the case, then there's only one way to fix that.
Flip the Senate. Booth. Yeah,
that's in the voting booth. So if you're tired of it, because I am tired of it. I'm so over it.
I'm tired of seeing their faces. I'm tired of seeing Lindsey Graham. I'm tired of seeing Mitch. I'm so tired.
Mitch is retiring. Thank God.
I am tired of seeing his face.
I hope Lindsey Graham State gets him out of there. I hope they're smart enough to get him out there. But people they don't see big picture. They only see their problem. Speaking of big picture, abortion laws. Now, I said this to you. I say this to the world. I'm so glad I'm about to go through menopause. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming within the next few years. I'm 46 years old this year. So it's coming soon. This is a problem I most likely will not have to deal with. But Alabama, Missouri, Mississippi, and Georgia have all passed these crazy abortion laws. Right here in Missouri, you cannot get an abortion after 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Most women don't even realize they're pregnant until 6 weeks, because it's usually a couple of weeks after their last period that they say, oh, wait a minute, I'm late. Something's not right. And then they go and find out they're pregnant. Okay. So 6 weeks it's not 6 weeks here. That's in Alabama. I'm sorry. It's 8 weeks in Missouri.
Okay.
So they figure you should be able to make a decision within 2 weeks. Now, in some places, they won't even allow you to have the abortion without seeing a counselor and going through therapy and all this BS of people trying to talk you out of it before they allow you to have it. Now, I am a person who does believe that you do the crime, you do the time. You sit there, you get pregnant. And I'm not talking about rape, incest. I'm talking about you go off with somebody and you willingly have
unprotected sex.
There are 50. There's the pill. If you don't want to get pregnant, get on the pill. There are contraception. There's like 2 aisles full of condoms. I don't know why it's so many condoms, but it's 2 aisles full of condoms. And there's sponges and these shots, and it's all kind of stuff you can do. So for me, if you get pregnant, you do the time, do the crime, you do the time. However, I'm not imposing that on nobody but me. That's my choice, my decision. I don't want to sit up and say the next woman has to go by that, because that's her body. It ain't mine.
Right.
She the one got to live with the decision, because if I sit there and tell her you got to have a baby, then she has the baby. What happens to the baby? Now she's got to take care of it. I don't have to take care of that baby.
Right.
Now she's got to raise it. I don't have to raise it. She's got to feed it. I don't have to feed it. She got to tell it how to act. I don't have to do none of that. I don't have to do any of that. I am not going to impose what I would do on someone else. Your body, your choice. If you choose to have an abortion for whatever reason, it's your business. You don't have to get my permission. You don't have to ask me. You don't have to know my advice. Nothing. I don't have to know nothing about it.
Right.
It's none
and that's
of
the
my
thing.
business.
I shouldn't know anything about it. It's not my business. And I don't think, I'm a firm believer that, especially if I understand that some men feel like women have too much power when it comes to abortions. That's their bodies. That's their decision. That's their choice. But, some men out there do want the baby, and the women just take that choice away from them. So, that's something to be considered.
This is where I say, you did the crime. Know who you sleeping with. Yeah. Don't just jump in the bed. I mean, this is for women and men.
Right.
Don't just jump in the bed with somebody. You got men who don't want the baby, but she will. It goes both ways. Know who you sleeping with. And if you just want to have a one night stand, then make sure you are protected. And screw
not
life.
just for babies.
Hold on. Screw life. You will die. You
for
can
diseases.
You can die. I've always been firm believer. My cousin died of AIDS 15 years ago. I am a firm believer. 2 forms of birth control. One for life, one for death. Always. One for life, one for death. I protect myself so I don't get pregnant. And I make sure I protect myself and you protect yourself, because I don't want nothing you got.
Right. And you don't want to die.
If I don't want your baby, I don't want nothing else.
Yeah, that might come along with your body.
Right. So, one, be smart. That's my first thing to everybody. Be smart. I'm not going to say be abstinent, because that's hard, especially once you done started. That's hard. I'm not going to say do that, but I am going to say be smart.
That's the best way to protect yourself.
It is, but I'm not going to say you got to do it. All I'm saying is be smart. And then if you do need to have an abortion, that's between you, your God, your doctor, and whatever other party you feel like involving. Has nothing to do with me. So first and foremost, I don't like these laws because you don't have the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. No man has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. No other woman has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. Period. I also don't like these laws because you want to protect this life, what you are calling a life. You want to protect this, but the moment it is here, you don't want to educate it. You don't want to feed it. You don't want, and if it's black, you want to kill it. The moment it gets here, think about how many of our black babies are dying on the streets. Think about how many of our black men don't even really make it to manhood. They barely make it out of their 20s because they've been shot and killed by police officers, by men just feeling like they need to stand their ground. So, how can you sit and scream
these people
protect
profess
life?
To be pro-life.
How are you pro-life when the first thing you do is kill it? And in the state of Alabama, they've got one of the worst education rates. They've got one of the worst, what's it called when you have no parents? Orphanages, and how they take care of them. They do not take care of the children that they have. Statistically, it's all there. They don't take care of the children that they have. But they sitting here, we're going to tell another woman she got to have a baby?
Doesn't make any sense.
And then you want to lock her up if she mistreats that baby. Well, she didn't want the baby in the first place.
And you didn't want it either. But you want to pretend that this is what you want.
This is some BS. So elections have consequences. And this is the consequence of these last set of elections. This is the consequence. You got a bunch of Republicans in here, and not just Republicans. You got a bunch of old white men in here making decisions for you and your body. If you didn't get up and vote, you better go vote now. And then they sit up. When does life start? They calling this the heartbeat law because that's when they say life starts. That's a lie. Technically, life starts when I'm born. The moment I'm born, and actually the moment I am conceived, I start to generate organs. And once my vaginal area and my ovaries are all created, there's life. every woman, if that's the case, technically every woman kills life once a month. Because if the sperm
don't say that too loud. Don't you say that too loud.
But I mean, if you really think about it, if sperm does not make it to an egg, the body sheds the egg. That is life. It is just life on a very atomic level. But it is life. It is still life. Sperm, when y'all go playing around with yourselves with your right hand man, y'all ejaculate out thousands of lives. And let's be real, when a man and a woman come together, and even if they are trying to create a baby, a woman's body kills off sperm. It automatically does it. It attacks sperm. That's all why usually only one make it to the egg. The rest die. Y'all ejaculate millions of them. Millions. The body kills them. So come on. Life, this is what is supposed to happen. You can't tell me life starts at 6 weeks. No, you can't determine when life starts. If you really want to talk about when life started the moment I was conceived. Life for me started the moment my mom was conceived. Life started the moment for her, the moment her mom conceived, and so on and so on. That's life. We kill life every day. I don't like people who sit up and say, oh, those PETA people, you can't eat animals. You're killing something. Well, when I eat a vegetable, I'm killing a living thing too. A plant lives and breathes. It breathes carbon dioxide. It lives. It grows with the sun. If you talk to them, come on. Everything is life.
They're only talking about animals, though.
Oh, that's all that counts.
Yeah, considering they're not out here protesting when black people get killed or when people get killed. That's life.
You're right.
And they're not.
And
you don't see PETA people at any
life.
Type of rally or any type of protest when somebody's been gunned down.
Yeah, we need PETA for black people. That's what I'd like to see. PETA standing for the rights of black people. I want to see that on somebody's sign one day. Y'all gonna throw paint on some white person that calls a black man a nigga?
You know they won't.
Hey, I throw black paint on you. Anywho, moving on. So that was all. That's my rant. Aretha Franklin. I'm bringing this up because we talked about this, and I believe it was Shantae had commented in the comments that she thought she had heard rather that the kids were fighting over her assets because she left no will. Well, come to find out, she left 3 wills scattered around her house. They were cleaning out her house and found 3 wills. Now, some people are saying they found them under couch cushions and all that. I don't know the details of where they found them, but they did find 3 wills. And the latest will is very interesting because Shantae was also mentioning that she felt like they weren't going to take care of, I think it was Shantae, but she said they weren't going to take care of the one child that had mental problems. But in her 2014
this
will,
is Aretha Franklin's child?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the age?
No.
Okay.
But one of her children has a mental disability. And they were saying that the other 3 were not trying to support that child, or I guess taking the child's money. But so in probate, it would have been split evenly 4 ways between the 4 kids. But now they found this new will, and even in her will, she does not leave that much money to the child that is mentally incapacitated. Now, the only thing I can think of is this child is in a home. The home is paid for and probably doesn't need much, because what she did say is she wanted the other 3 to make sure that child was okay. And I know my mom has done that with me. For me and my brothers and sisters, she split it between the 3 of us, but she's already told me, make sure my grandbabies get taken care of. And for my mom, I know what that means. Make sure they get an education, make sure they have everything they need through college, and make sure they get started off right. Give them an opportunity. So I know what that means. And I know that means that I'm going to have to sit down with my brothers and my sisters, and we're going to have to sit down and put some money into an account just for them. I know what that means. Why she don't just put that in writing is beyond me. But
because especially one, God forbid, but once she's gone, trying to argue that with people, money changes people.
It does.
And so
it does. But me and my brother, we cool. It's that little one. I'm not sure about her, but they her kids, so hopefully she will act like, oh yeah, okay. But so I'm thinking that's probably was her thought process. Plus, the other three kids, they're not the child with mental disabilities. They're not his guardian. So that would mean whoever his assigned guardian is would be the one to have access to the money. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking also maybe she was trying to protect him by giving the money to her children and telling them to make sure he was taken care of.
I mean, but who is this guardian?
I don't know.
I mean, hopefully it's somebody that she would trust enough to take care of this child.
I don't know.
Because I don't know if I putting that kind of pressure and responsibility on the other siblings, unless they were, taking care of that other brother or sister while she was here, then I don't know. Just like with your mom in this whole situation, I feel like that's a conversation that you guys don't or shouldn't have to have when she can just specify up front, because it could cause
it would make things a lot easier
amongst you all.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because like even with property now, when she was doing the property and she set everything up.
Are we talking about Aretha Franklin or your mom?
My mom.
Okay.
My brother, she and my brother have a house together, and she told me make sure he gets his house, and I'm like, why don't you just give him his house?
Yeah.
Why even put that in the midst of this? And she was like, oh, I guess I could. And I was like, yeah, you probably want to, because that little one, she crazy, and she'll be. And see, in the way my mom had it set up is, if anything happened to her, my baby sister wouldn't get her money until she was 35. So if anything happened to my mom before she turned 35, she would get mad because I was the one that would oversee her money. Mm-hmm. And so
that's going to cause trouble between the two of you.
Well, and not only that, she has a vote in everything. There's a vote, always a vote. So for my brother to get his house, we'd have had to vote for it. And I'm like, see, and she would just be ugly because she couldn't get access to her money. So I'm like, no, you need to fix that.
Yeah, y'all need to have a conversation.
My little sister is over 35.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. She can get access to her money. But my mom did fix that. It's just now she's just like, make sure my grandkids are taken care of.
I feel like y'all should revisit that conversation.
Right, yeah, that means she need to revisit that trust. Yeah. That's all. But yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't need that undue pressure. Like, why? You guys are already grieving. You will be grieving.
I'll make sure they take. No matter what, I'll make sure they taken care of. If it comes out of my pocket, I'll make sure they taken care of.
Okay.
Because I mean, that's just, I know it was what my mom would have wanted.
Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be stressful.
I know, and it's not gonna be. I mean, for me, it's not gonna be. I'm gonna say it. They're gonna either do it or not. If they don't, I'll just make sure they get taken care of. And I think that's probably why she did it. Like when she did, she set it up for my little sister to not get her money. She said, and I'm not telling her. I'm like, what you mean you're not telling her? She said, I'm waiting. She'll find out when I'm dead. I said, when you dead? She said, yeah. I said, that means I have to tell her. She said, I know. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's like,
why is that? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Don't want to deal with it. She don't want to deal with it. And I mean, I get it to some degree. She deals with my sister all the time. And my sister
Which means
drama.
She should know how to deal with your sister at this point.
But she's just drama, and she don't want to deal with the drama. So I get it. And so
she going to deal with this drama, or she going to get written out the will completely?
No, my mom doesn't want to deal with
that's what I'm saying. And your sister's going to,
no, I'm going to deal with the drama. And so that's just her way of saying,
your family
I'm not doing it. Yeah, and that's just it. It's family is family. And you take what you get. I mean, because it ain't like I can't make her go and change her will. I can ask her to, but I can't make her. Like I said, now my little sister is she's of age. Although my mama has called me a few times and said, I think I'm gonna move it back to 45. I'm like, really? Come on.
Oh, to where your sister can't access the money till she's 45.
Yeah, but
but does your mom really understand the pressure that it puts on you? Or the responsibility that puts on you?
I don't think
or
she
even cares
about it. Her concern, my mom is a worrier.
Yeah.
Her concern is that she will get the money.
Yeah.
And she will spend it on the wrong thing.
Right.
Or some dude.
That's a legitimate concern.
I mean, that's her concern. And because you can't have a conversation with my sister without her taking everything personally and it becoming a big fight. My mom just doesn't want to deal with that. So for her, she doesn't even think about me. She doesn't think about me. She doesn't think about, because I don't fight her.
What about your brother?
He ain't here.
Well, she can still, but they still talk, so she can have this conversation with him.
No.
Okay.
I'm the oldest. I'm the one she has told to do everything.
You're the keeper of the books.
Yeah, this is my life. It's always been that way.
Okay.
So this is nothing new to me. So I just say, okay, whatever. You do whatever you're going to do. I will make sure. And I just tell her, don't worry about it. I'll make sure they're going to get taken care of. So, anywho, I do have one last question before we end this show. When you take a shower, do you wash your legs and your feet?
Let me just say I had to throw some shoes away. So I don't wash my feet as much as I do wash my legs. But I feel like because I'm using the liquid soap, and when I scrub the bottom of my feet, I always almost fall and bust my tail. And okay. I would hate to be found in the shower, okay. Dead and drowned.
There's a few things I'm going to tell you to do right now.
Well, I'll get a mat.
Get one of them, a mat. You can get those mats. You can get the little stickies.
That's for women, though.
If you ever watch The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon talks about the stickies he has at the bottom of his tub so he doesn't slip and fall.
That's for women.
Sheldon is not a woman. So, but you get, they come in squares, they come in stars, they come in stripes. That you can put some. They just lines. You can put little lines in there. They come in manly things. They come white. They come colored. Go get you some stickies. If you don't want to do that, go to the Walmart and get you one of them old people seats. The shower seats for old people. Stick it in your shower so you can sit your butt down. You got to wipe. You got to wash your feet. I don't understand. I have been hearing this conversation and thinking, really, are people really talking about this? But I've heard it on just about every outlet now.
It's like you don't care about your feet. Like, what are you doing with your feet?
Okay, this is how you get athlete's foot, people. You got to sit down and wash in between your toes. What the hell's going on here? Okay, and then have you ever I've seen your feet, so I'm sure you have not done this. But if you go and you clean from under your toenails, there's always like this white stuff. That's
stuff, calcium from your nails growing.
Not. No, it's not. It's a mixture of dirt, soap, and lotion. And
you know it ain't lotion
stinks.
On me.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know. Ain't nobody put no lotion on their feet.
Yes, you put lotion on your feet. That's why your feet look like you been kicking rocks. Dude, I'm serious. Tomorrow, I want you to go buy either some stickies to put in your shower or a shower seat. Sit down and start washing your feet. That's how you get athlete's foot.
You remember you sent me a picture of like this little foot bath thing that you have? Mm-hmm. You was like, I'm going to buy you one. And I told you that's for women. We don't do that.
Wash. Please. Y'all got to wash your feet.
My feet are in the soapy water.
That's not enough. You gotta wash in between your toes. You gotta get all the and you wear slide shoes.
I don't wear slides.
You wear sandals.
My Jesus sandals, yeah.
Yes, you wear sandals. So your feet hit dirt.
Yeah, every now and then.
And you don't wash.
But
your feet.
Remember, I wear shoes even in the house.
I wash my feet every night before I go to bed.
That's what women do.
Because I wash my feet because I can't stand to get in my bed with dirty feet. When I was little, my sisters, they had a room that they built in the back. Anyway, it had some type of linoleum. And I swear it was like 50 people walked through that room every day. Mm-hmm. And it never got mopped. So when you walked on it with bare feet, your feet were black at the end of the day. So it was a thing. Before you went to bed, you had to wash your feet because they were just completely black. And so
that makes sense.
Ever since I was little, I've gotten used to washing my feet before I go to bed. I don't dirty feet in my bed. I don't like that.
Are you a toe person?
Clean your toes?
No,
Yes.
like taste toes.
No, I don't want to. I damn sure wouldn't stick your toes in my mouth. And now that I know people don't wash their feet.
We are not talking about my toes. I'm just saying, is that a thing that you're into?
No, it's not a thing I'm into. My toes don't need to be in your mouth. Your toes ain't going in mine. Period. No. But seriously. Yeah, no wonder you've been touching your feet, don't touch this. You've been touching your feet, don't touch me. Because you don't realize people wash their feet. Sit down with some soap and water and wash your feet. Get in between your toes.
I still
That's
think
why you had to throw away shoes.
Even if you wash your feet, you still shouldn't touch people after touching your feet.
Dude, if your feet are clean, it's not as bad. Mike, I've never thrown away a pair of shoes because they stank.
Well, you don't work like me.
No, I wash my feet. Wash your feet.
This is not an intervention.
This is an intervention. I need you to go buy a shower seat. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Tomorrow morning, get up. When you go do your grocery shopping, go buy you a shower seat.
No, it's a holiday. I ain't got time for
tomorrow?
that.
It's not a holiday.
This is the holiday weekend, so all week is a holiday.
Okay, then you take this little wooden stool and take it to the shower. Here's one. It's metal. And it's painted, so it ain't gonna mess up.
No, that's new. That's for that holds my light when I'm recording.
Then sit your wet ass on the side of the tub. You can sit on the side of the tub.
We ain't over this conversation yet.
No, wash your feet. I just knew you were gonna say, yeah, I wash my feet. As clean as you all hollering about being. Sit down, wash your feet.
I feel like feet don't matter.
Feet do matter.
As long as the rest of your body is clean.
Feet don't matter.
What are you doing with your feet? Okay.
What are you doing with them? You're walking. You're putting them on pavement. You're walking in public spaces.
I'm talking about where that affects other people.
You're walking where people spit, where people take a leak,
and
where people do
several barriers between me and those things.
Dude, wash your feet. And you got several barriers, and they in socks, and it's hot, and they sweating, and sweaty bacteria builds up, and that's how you get fungus and all kind of gross stuff. You people need to talk to a doctor. I don't know what's wrong with you. It's so gross. Oh my God. I'm done. I just can't. Everybody, just please don't be like Mike. Wash your feet.
You people need to talk to a doctor. So rude.
Y'all need to talk to a doctor. Y'all feet gonna have to be. You gonna have get gangrene in your feet, and they gonna cut them off. They gonna cut your feet off.
Lord.
Are you kidding me? You don't wash them. Oh my God.
That does not cause gangrene.
It's fungus.
Anyway,
it causes fungus. Look it up. Look it up.
That's all I call for. That's
I ain't all want you call for.
I'm gonna go ahead and go. I didn't want nothing.
Hey, wash your feet, people. That's all I got to say. Wash your feet. Good night.
Peace.